maybe he's looking at something. You know, you can go as far as, you know, putting some things on the walls if you're doing a gallery, like in your case. But for now, we're going to kind of ignore most of the furniture and just look at bringing some people in and just kind of how to get that to look relatively good. That's not bad. You'll grab these layers and make a group. Okay, let's keep going just quickly. So here we have, you know, people sitting on a bench. It's a little awkwardly cropped, but just I noticed kind of in this original photo, I think that's what they have down at the very end of the building. So for example, and again, you can just kind of have fun on Google figuring out where to find these. So this one will obviously have to be behind the trees. There we go. Anyway, smaller. For now, let's just turn the trees off. Okay, that's not bad. And then, you know, for example, we want to give them more of like a wooden bench or something. We can go in just very rough. We'll take color, maybe like that color. Use our paintbrush. And just very roughly give it sorry, this is, you know, obviously at this point almost completely unrecognizable, but yeah, and we could, you know, if that bench extends across the room there, you could just very roughly kind of whack it in. Okay, let's just grab another couple just to keep pushing that depth. Maybe try and get some people in each room. Put that in the people folder. Whoops. So now maybe we'll put them in this room with the wood, so they're a little bigger. Not bad. Yeah, just keep tweaking it as you see fit. We can turn the trees back on and see if that's starting to look okay. Yeah. Okay, I think that's good for people. Now let's add some of the kind of built-in furniture, bigger pieces. So let's do the bookshelf. I've already found this kind of bookshelf. I think I just searched black and white old bookshelf or something. But we'll just grab a piece of it and kind of tile it ourselves. So let's just select the bookshelf layer. We can use a rectangular selector, and we'll just grab this one piece. And actually, let's grab the inside because we want our own wood wall to make the frame. Okay, so let's just again look at, we've got a bit of a wider bookshelf and it's a little bit gray. It's not so black and white, right? So just kind of like we did before, let's name this. We can go in and, you know, adjust the levels. To something like, you know, where it's more gray. Or yeah, you can, I think, bring the white down so the white's not as high. That's not bad. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, and then we could maybe stretch it a little bit so it's a bit wider. And obviously much smaller. We don't Okay, again, we'll turn the trees off, and we will try and get it down to the right size. So we're going to have it obviously flush with the ground, or maybe a little bit raised so that it's like a built-in shelf. Make it just a little wider. Okay, that's not bad. So let's start maybe with it not all the way in, and then we'll just hold Alt, and again you can either just copy the layer a bunch of times, or you can hold Alt and drag. And Photoshop kind of helps you keep it together. These gaps may be a little big, but let's just say that's fine. That's a little wide. So we could go in and move them over using the arrow. Yeah, it's not bad. It's already kind of trimmed there, but we can go in and make sure. Yeah, it looks fine. Sometimes it looks more real or more natural if you do have them cut off, kind of like the way that this one is. Oh, and that one we'll want to trim just because of this window frame. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that's that one. Okay, and then if you like this as a bookshelf, you could merge those layers or link them, whatever. And then let's just go in and add a couple horizontal lines just to fill the shelf. So for that, we'll do, you can do the single row marquee tool, which is like a selection of just a single row of pixels, because we want it to be quite thin. Like I think these grout lines are 1 pixel. So again, yeah, let's just select, a color like that. We'll pick a couple, maybe every third one. I think every line might be too much, but there's that. And you can use the paint bucket. Oh no. Could start a new layer on top. Yeah, there we go. Whoops. And we'll do that again here. And again there. And then obviously we need to trim that. Oh, sorry. It's not ideal. Okay. It's not bad. So again, we can merge those. Probably better not to merge them, but you do want to organize them some way. Okay, we can turn the trees back on. We'll throw in this piano I found. Not bad. Yeah, again, if we want to change the contrast, or you can even just change the lightness if you want it to be a little less prominent or darker. You could even, like, let's say we don't like how dark the legs are. You could use a paintbrush with some low opacity white or something, and just like, well, that's maybe too much, but you can lighten some of those legs, or just adjust once you have it in the scene and see what looks good. Not perfect, but that's all right. Okay, and now, we forgot the little, what you see out the window at the very back. For that, I created this image just with a simple Google image, and then masked out this background to keep consistent with the black and white trees. Once you have that mask, you can just apply a black and white to it on top of the original image. I'm sure you can all do that. Oh, whoops, got into the wrong one. Okay, so here we'll have to pull that behind the diffuse render element. First, maybe we'll scale it. And actually, you know what? Let's keep it up front until we know it's the right size. And again, I'm just doing that by holding Alt and clicking to isolate a layer. So let's get this down to somewhere around the right size. That's pretty good. And again, this is so far in the background, you hardly notice it. There we go. Okay, maybe we'll just give it a little bit more contrast. There we go. It's not bad. Okay, so we're pretty much, oops, this bookshelf obviously needs to be below the trees. And I think, ultimately what you'd want to do is, here's the kind of final file I made, is you'd want to have an entourage folder, and you can keep kind of tweaking the sizes of things as you get a better sense with the rest of the entourage. And then maybe a last thing you can do, just as you notice some things don't look quite right with the way they meet the ground, is you can we'll select this gravel ground layer. You could also select the trees and kind of start to blur or try and blend those in a bit, but one thing that is a useful thing to know is just getting used to trying some of the different brushes they have. There's these general brushes, but there's also dry media brushes for kind of a rough, uneven, pixely effect. So let's try that just to add a little bit of shadow. We'll bring the opacity down and the size. But let's, just kind of like, that doesn't look great, but it's an example. Giving it a little bit of shadow. You can try another brush, maybe this really rough one. Give it a bit more opacity. What does that do? Let's see. That's a little big. Some of these special effects brushes are good. Spatter brushes. So that's like a really rough, kind of random speckles. Sometimes that's helps you get what you're looking for if you wanted, more of these black speckles. For now, that's looking pretty good. I think we're almost there. Oh, that's too much. So that's a little bit rough at the end there, but let's say we like those final touches. I mean, again, we can go to the one I was a little bit more careful on, and you can see how just some of these effects might help. But that's it.